Chapter 2. Seraphina's Fire. The sun never truly rose in Nytherra, not the way it did in the rest of the world. Here, dawn crept in like a timid thief, casting a pale, ghostly light through the thick canopy of ancient trees. The forest remained cloaked in a silvery twilight, even as the hours passed. Shadows clung to every branch, every stone, as if the very land itself refused to let go of the night. And Seraphina, she preferred it that way. The darkness hadn't just become her comfort. It had become her cradle, her mentor, her forge. The dark had never frightened her. It had made her perched silently on a thick tree branch, high above the forest floor. Seraphina crouched with effortless balance. The wind teased strands of her long, raven-black hair, whispering secrets only the wild could understand. Her amber eyes flicked from tree to tree, glowing faintly as they searched for any lingering threat. Predatory, focused, alive, blood stained the earth below, mingling with shattered bark and the heavy scent of ozone. Remnants of the fight that had erupted not long ago. Rogue vampires, 4 of them. No coordination, no discipline, just hunger and rage. Now there was only silence, a silence that hummed in her bones. Seraphina exhaled slowly, her grip loosening on the blood-slicked dagger in her hand. She hadn't even realized she was still holding it. The adrenaline was fading, and with it, the fire that always ignited in her veins during a hunt. She wiped the blade clean on her thigh before slipping it into the sheath, strapped tightly around her leg. Without a sound, she leapt from the branch. She landed in a crouch. Soft as a feather, sharp as a blade. The forest didn't even flinch at her presence. It knew her. She moved quickly through the trees, her steps sure, swift. Her body ached. A deep, pulsing ache in her right arm, where one of the rogues had managed to graze her. It wasn't serious. Nothing ever was. Still, the pain reminded her of her mortality, or at least the illusion of it. She reached the hidden cave where she kept her supplies and ducked inside. The temperature dropped immediately, a cool dampness settling over her skin. She lit a single lantern and hung it on the wall. The soft golden light flickered, casting dancing shadows over the stone walls. Her fingers moved automatically, stripping off her bloodied leather armor. The stiff material peeled away from her body, revealing pale skin painted with scars. Not ugly, not to her. Each scar told a story, a fight, a choice, a moment she should have died, but didn't. She sat down on a stone ledge carved long ago by time or claw and reached for her satchel, tucked carefully into the darkest corner of the cave. Her fingers brushed the worn leather before she pulled it forward. Inside was a bundle wrapped in soft, faded cloth. She hesitated. Even now, after all this time, this part always made her hands shake. She slowly unwrapped the bundle, revealing 2 things, a small, crimson-bound book and a necklace strung with a single black opal stone. The gems shimmered with shifting colors, blue, green, violet, like fire trapped inside obsidian. She touched the cover of the book gently. This was her past, or at least what little she had of it. The woman who raised her, Nytherra, had given it to her when she was too young to understand what it meant. Seraphina hadn't even had a name then. Nytherra had never given her one. Seraphina had chosen it herself. She chose it after the fire, after Nytherra's lifeless body had fallen across the threshold of their cottage, blood soaking the wooden floor. Seraphina had survived somehow, alone, cold, forever changed. She had been 5 the last time she remembered crying, 10 when she took her first life, 14 when she realized she didn't age like the other girls in the nearby village, and 17 when the dreams began. Dreams that weren't dreams at all. Visions. Soaked in blood, veiled in moonlight, filled with whispers of a man she'd never met. A man with silver eyes. A king. Her fingers brushed the black opal pendant, and it pulsed with warmth beneath her touch, like a heartbeat, like a call. Her jaw tightened. "I don't want to be anyone's queen," she muttered, her voice low and sharp like the blade she carried. "And I sure as hell don't need a king." But the ache hadn't gone away. The invisible pull in her chest only grew stronger with every night she tried to ignore it. Something was waking inside her, clawing at the edges of her control. She turned back to the book, flipping it open. The pages were filled with handwritten notes, scribbled spells, memories, names she didn't recognize. Madra's writing. Her caretaker had been a healer, a quiet soul with secrets in her eyes. She had claimed to find Seraphina alone in the snow, wrapped in nothing but silk and shadow. That story had always sounded like a fable, but Seraphina knew now that it wasn't. Madra had whispered strange names in her sleep. Names that etched themselves into Seraphina's mind like scars. Vortigern, Eld Hollow, Bloodborn, Queen of Fire. Names that used to mean nothing, but now they were beginning to mean everything. She slammed the book shut, her breath shaky. She shoved it back into the satchel as if hiding it could bury her destiny with it. But fate didn't work that way. Fate had claws. Fate had wings. Fate dug. She stood and reached for the necklace again, holding it in her palm. The opal shimmered like a living thing. She didn't know who she was meant to be, only who she had become. A warrior, a survivor, a storm wrapped in flesh. And far away, in a palace built from stone and shadow, the man from her visions stirred. His breath turned cold as he stared into a map of burning kingdoms. He turned to his captain and gave the order. "Find her. Bring her to me. Alive,